Hi there, I'm Mayor Rusty Bailey. The Riverside Police Department has come up with an innovative program to help reduce auto theft. So join me for a conversation with Lieutenant Kevin Townsend about how you can partner with RPD to keep your vehicles.
Hi again. Welcome to another segment of Riverside Monthly with Mayor Bailey. I'm your host, Steve Brazel, as always, joined by the mayor himself. Mayor Bailey, how are you?
Fabulous. How are you doing today, Steve?
I'm doing really good. Today, or at least this segment, I want to touch on vehicle theft a little bit because that's an issue pretty much anywhere you go, and it is an issue in Riverside City, Riverside County, surrounding areas. So we have somebody joining us today. Our guest is Riverside Police Officer Lieutenant Kevin Townsend. Officer Townsend, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
That's
Good
why you're
morning,
here.
you.
We're talking about safety.
Yes.
Talking
Lieutenant
about
Townsend.
safety,
Talking
yeah.
about it.
Uniformed and in the house. So even with car alarms, I think most vehicles now have an alarm on them. Low jack, etc. Auto theft is still an issue, as Steve mentioned. Can you talk about the scope of the problem? Are we talking tens, though, hundreds or thousands of vehicles that are stolen a year? Would you say?
Thousands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So
unfortunately,
it is
it's
significant.
it's going up, and we do make a lot of arrests. I can tell you that. A lot of happy
Yeah.
people to get their cars back. But you know, we've been looking in the last year or so, trying to figure out how do we combat this. When we see those spikes in crime, we try and figure out what can we do.
I guess important for people to understand that the type of vehicle that you own, the year, et cetera, all play a role in this.
Right.
But I see this sticker in front of you, and it says Riverside H.E.A.T on it. So explain
There
to
it
me the
is.
H.E.A.T program, what it is, what the goals are, how this plays an impact in vehicle theft.
Bring the heat.
Right. So HEAT stands for Help Eliminate Auto Theft. It's a program that we recently started this year in the last few months, modeled after programs that have been done in Texas and Arizona, are two large jurisdictions. The entire state of Texas, the state of Arizona has a very similar program. Basically, it's geared for people who do not drive late at night, and the hours are 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. If you put this sticker on your car, what you're telling us is, I don't drive at that time for whatever reason. Maybe in the case of an emergency, someone has to go to the hospital or something, but generally, you're not out between 1 and 5. You put this sticker on the back windshield of your car, and what we're telling our patrol officers is if it's between 1 and 5, you see this sticker, to just stop it.
So if you're asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, this program's for you.
Right, because a lot of times what happens is people get their car stolen toward the beginning of the night. You go to bed. The bad guys had the car the entire night. You didn't know that it was gone. And you wake up in the morning, find your car is gone, and the guys had it the entire night. I work graveyard a lot, and so what happens is we drive around, we get behind a car, we check the license plate, it's not stolen, because you're in bed, you don't know it's missing. We
You
had
haven't
no
reported it.
we had no reason to stop the car.
Well, does an officer need probable cause to stop that vehicle?
That's a good question,
So
yeah.
in general, we have to have reason to stop a car. We can't just stop cars for no reason. There has to be some articulable reason to stop a car. So, at 2 in the morning, a car driving down Market Street or whatever, if it's not reported stolen, they have to commit a traffic violation or cause some other reason for us to stop the car.
Okay.
And you're in bed, so it hasn't been reported stolen. So this is one way to kind of combat that. It should hopefully draw attention to your car in the middle of the night that we've told all of our officers now to look for this sticker. And if you see this, you don't have to worry about it speeding or some other traffic violation. You just stop the car.
Okay.
Confirm ownership.
Yeah.
You'll sign a waiver saying, yes, I don't drive during those times. And you put your contact information on the form. We put that into a database so that at 2 in the morning, we stop your car. If you're not driving it, we have your name, your phone number, and we call you and say, hey, we have your car down here, wherever. Okay.
But if you are in the car, you just say, thank you, officer.
So that's been one of the questions
Yeah.
that people have asked at some of the community meetings I've been to is, well, what if I have to run down to Walgreens or CVS or something? This is a stop to confirm ownership. So if they stop you,
Thank you, officer.
right, that's kind of what I
Actually,
told folks.
it's confirmation
Yeah.
that the program you signed up for works.
That's
It's
what
really,
I've mentioned.
you
that
signed up for it because you want that protection, and it's confirmation. But that
Yeah.
does bring up the question. You talked a little bit about the implementation, that they have to give their contact information, et cetera. But if somebody wanted to get into this HEAT program, where do they start?
So we have some phone numbers on our website, but the easiest thing to do is to go to our Magnolia police station or our downtown station on Orange Street. The front counter staff has all of the forms, the waivers. They have stacks of these stickers. We bought 1,000 of them just to start off, and if we go over, we'll buy more. So they're at all of our stations during regular business hours. You stop by and say, hey, I heard about the H.E.A.T program. I'm interested in it. How do I sign up?
Any other things that people should know about to keep their cars safe, to protect their vehicles from being stolen? What else can you tell them besides this program?
A few things. First of all, we always encourage people to lock their cars. You'd be surprised how many people don't lock their cars. Roll the windows all the way up. Some people like to leave that little gap in their window. Either they smoke or it's hot out and they like to kind of air the car out. If you can fit your fingers in there, it doesn't take a great deal of strength to pull the window down and then unlock the car. The club, it's kind of an old school thing, but we gave out a little over 200 clubs this year. They work.
Yeah,
I mean,
the thief moves on. If they see a club, typically they're going to move
really
on.
all we can do is deter it as much as possible. There's no foolproof. Like if you do X, you'll never get your car stolen. But if we make it as difficult as possible, I'm sorry for the neighbor, but yeah, you're kind of.
Guess you could take your wheels off every night,
Yeah,
but that's
I
not
know.
going to. The next
I mean, they sell kill switches. The low jack stuff works. GPS devices in your cars. There's electronic GPS things to where you can set it to where if your car moves at night, it alerts you. There's some electronic things, but a lot of folks can't afford certain things that might help.
Right.
This is a good program because it's free.
Well,
It's a good price, right?
Bring the heat.
and really, it's you use the term deterrent, and that's really it. And that is a thief is always going to go to the easiest target. So even if it's an inexpensive club that you can buy at almost any auto parts store, it's a deterrent that may make them move on to the next vehicle.
Most times it does. I was an auto theft detective for a while, and I used to arrest these guys, interview them. That's what they do, is look for the easy mark. So really what we can do as residents is make it as difficult on them as possible.
Well, Officer Townsend, I appreciate your insight and sharing a few tips and also sharing about the H.E.A.T program. And Mayor, as always, thank you for joining me as well.
You got it. Thanks for
This
service.
is another segment of Riverside Monthly with Mayor Bailey. I'm your host, Steve Brazel. Thanks again, and as always, we will talk to you next time.